Check 1 2 bitch.
What up, everyone? This is episode 291 of the most consistent podcast in the year. Here we go.
Give me a hell yeah!
iLLogical stems. This is your boy Busby.
And over here, it's your boy JC. No honey.
How the fuck are you doing, good man?
I'm chilling, bro.
Yeah.
Nice kickback weekend.
Yeah. It was pretty much been raining this whole fucking weekend and shit like that.
That it has. Ain't much you can do with that, but just try to relax. And if you can find time to stay awake, because Lord knows when it starts raining, you're just gonna fall asleep. And
exactly.
Yeah, I've been catching up on some sleep. In the meantime, I've been awake. Last time we were on air, I had chubbier cheeks. In the past few weeks, I've been working out and sleeping. I've been slimming down again.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
making you work out.
Exactly. I got my groove again.
I'm good. I need to get back on my meditation and my fucking yoga and shit. I've been like backtracking like a motherfucker. So I need to get back on that shit real fucking quick.
Yeah.
But other than that, just been working and chilling and finished up the Sopranos. But before we get into that, we gotta get into music because a lot of music has dropped since we've been gone.
Bruh.
And I've been waiting, baby.
Ja Morant, though.
What you say?
No Ja Morant, though.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna talk about him a lot.
Shit.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later too. Yeah. No, we've been counting. Well, I really haven't been counting down. I've actually been really happy and chilling. That music wasn't flooding. I was, last year I was pretty upset. The weekend came out shooting with a lot of cocaine first weekend in 2022, and I was like, damn, I couldn't wait. So this year it's been really nice to kind of just ease into the year, let the Grammys soak in, let the Super Bowl soak in, and then this past week, or I would say a week ago, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready for music. And right when I said that, Donnie, my guy,
bro.
Yes,
your guy.
Oh man, he's like, you know what? I got you. Lovesick, his third album, it dropped, and boy, oh boy,
this is really his third album. It really is wild. This is his third album, and I haven't really listened to the previous two, but this one was a really good album. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Lovesick. Like, I've been listening to this like nonstop. I even put it on my playlist. Like, a lot of my playlists and shit, because the transitions and the sequencing, it's just like, mwah.
Well, he legitimately he solidified himself as Timothy with this one. Mm-hmm. So how just everything that came along with it. I purposely stayed away from the singles because I knew there was one that dropped at the end of last year, and I accidentally stumbled upon it. And I was like, okay, he's planning on dropping pretty soon. I think it was Do It Right. And so I played like the first minute and I was like, okay, cool. Like, he's going to drop at some point. And so I stopped playing it. And then when news came out with what he was about to drop and how this is going to be a concept album, and he is the owner of a diner, and everybody that's a feature on here is a character around the diner, and they're all lovesick. And I was like, oh, there's another single, and this next single that he has is featuring Kali Uchis, who, by the way, is his girlfriend. Oh, I'm not playing shit until this album drops now. I'm not touching it.
Okay, now that makes sense. I knew there was I knew it had to be like a concept album or some shit. Now that you dropped that on me now I get it. It makes sense now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you know my thing. Like, as soon as I first, from the first time we heard Don Toliver on Can't Say on Astroworld, I came on the pod and I was like, that was the one feature on Astroworld where I was completely dumbfounded when I was like, who is this? And I immediately ran to Donnie Womack and immediately ran through his mixtape and completely got familiarized with his art. And then when his first album, the debut album, Heaven or Hell, and then of course Life of a Don, I've just been a complete Don Toliver fan. So going through this, I immediately went back and was trying to find out as much as I could with this project. Hearing him say that going into this album, he really was inspired by disco, particularly with everything that went around Studio 54. He wanted to tap in with those types of sounds. It just shows, you know how a lot of people have just been complaining, oh, there's just the acts nowadays. They want to just focus on putting those streaming numbers up and whatever happens.
Yeah.
This is the product. This is what happens when you have the artist that says, no, I want to take my time with the art. And then I want everything to funnel in through my art. And then we can dictate everything around that. Let's do that. And let's keep it from there. Because again, Donnie is the type of artist that he when you hear his music, there's still that distinctive sound, that soul from the past. And so hearing this, it's just chef's kiss.
Good shit.
I pressed play, and immediately when I heard the beginning of Lovesickness, what I heard sound wise and sonically was, oh, they circled in on the sound from Flocky Flocky. So track 4 off of Life of a Don, I'm like, oh, they circled in on that sound. Okay, perfect. So this is what we focus on. All right, good. Like I'm zoned in on all this, and so you know me, I like to highlight my 3-man weave. Go down. Time heals all. And then there's that nice little counterbalance with Leather Coat.
Leather Coat. That's my shit. That is my shit.
Oh, man.
That is real good shit. And then it goes right into Honeymoon and shit like that. And then Private Landing with Bieber the God and Future. Like, everything about this album, even down to If I Had with Charlie Wilson, that was great. And it was
that is like, a steal. That is a steal of a record.
Yeah.
Like, because what you're doing is you're merging his, again, he's an old soul sounding type of artist. So what you're doing is you're taking a newer age artist with that old soul sound, and you're legitimately putting him with a walking legend from the old school. And it's a blend where it's just, this should not be legal to have this together. But I'm so thankful that I get to live and breathe this record. And my God Almighty, he said on the Joe Budden podcast that Uncle Charlie walked in there and he one took it. Walked in the booth and did that one take.
Yeah, it sounds like a one take.
Yeah,
he got a scoop it on and
absolutely.
Shit like that.
Yeah, so that shit dropped out. That dropped out February 24th, February 23rd for us. I was in the middle watching the Lakers Warriors game, and I immediately said, I was like, I don't care if this game is a close game. I don't care if it's a blowout. As soon as it hits 9:00, I'm putting my headphones on and I'm finishing the game. I'm not listening to any commentators. I'm finishing the game with this album, and that's exactly what I did. And so one thing I did notice with the track list was Travis Scott wasn't on the track list. I was like, something tells me there's going to be a track that funnels out later, because it seems like this is going to be a Cactus Jack type of year.
Yeah.
And I'll be damned if the next day the video didn't drop where it was Deluxe confirmed, Travis Scott confirmed. And I was like, I just spent my $7.99. I'm going to have to spend some more money. And then legitimately a few days later, he drops another 4 tracks on the Deluxe version. I went ahead and spent another, what was it? I went ahead and spent another $9.99. And it was worth it because embarrassed is that track where I was like, oh my God, just let me get in the car and let me just pretend that I'm floating on purple codeine in the sky, and it's just a way to take me to the sky, man.
Yeah. It's funny because I listened to the Deluxe. I didn't listen to the original version because I saw the features, and I know how Don Toliver is as an artist. I'm going like, I think this is the proper way to listen to this album. And also, I've listened to this and a little bit of something else, but literally majority of my time I went to Don Toliver. This album's amazing.
Yeah, that one, and then was it, man, that Bro, that one, the real feature or on the deluxe that creeps up on you is that damn luckily I'm having with a Tizo touchdown. Tizo touchdown is a quietly if you know secret recipe because this nigga ain't got one damn album yet, but he's appeared on what's Tyler the Creator and DJ Drama? What's that album again?
Call me if you get call me when you get lost.
Thank you. He was on that one. He was on Yachty's album, and now he's on this one.
Wow, so he's making his way through these fucking recording sessions.
Exactly.
He's networking.
Yeah. So shout out to Tizo Touchdown. This was just a phenomenal project from top to finish. And then I don't know if you recognize this, but Don Toliver also he created a 14-minute short film that's on Amazon Prime right now for this album.
I figured he did because I looked on Spotify and I saw a lot of clips pop up. I'm going like he probably made a short movie out of this. And now that you told me that, yeah, I'm gonna watch that.
It's a 14-minute short film, and it's this whole project is incredible. He went on Rolling Loud, and he just did his set this past weekend. So I'm gonna make sure to check that out. Rob Bieber. I'm gonna make sure to check that set out on YouTube. Like this is just I have not stopped playing this album in a week and a half. When I tell you I have played this album, it's probably been about 3 to 5 times a day since I played this album. It's ridiculous how many times I burned this damn album.
Because it's funny, the albums of the years always drop around March. That's your window to drop album of the year. Your best album you have to drop between February, March, right before summer, or it's during the summer. And then after that, that's when people have to sit with it and they have to like migrate on it, let it simmer on it. And so right now, Don Toliver, he's the one right now.
He came out swinging, man. I'm very proud of him. I'm very happy. And to close this out with him, he already said he's already started working on his fourth and final album for Atlantic, which he already anticipates to drop next year. And then he's going to go back and restructure his deal. And at that point, just give him whatever he wants, please. Just please. Please give him whatever he wants at that point. So salute to Donnie. That also leads me to know that Trav is on his way too, because Trav said he doesn't plan on dropping until everybody from Cactus Jack drops. So
see, I gotta give it to Travis Scott. He's been playing peekaboo ever since the whole Astro World tragedy. He's been playing peekaboo on a lot of people's records, and he's just kind of like putting his feet into the water, and then he's slowly coming back, which I don't mind. To be honest,
absolutely.
So,
next up, we got
completely disappear. Go on.
Right, absolutely. Next up, we got Donnie's girlfriend, Kali Uchis, Red Moon and Venus. I gave this one spin, and I swear to you, they must have been cooking from the same recipe book. Because this shit sounds just as majestic. It sounds like it came from the late 70s, early 80s.
I only listened to like a few tracks from it, like the singles that dropped, and I really enjoyed the singles.
I didn't listen to any singles, but I could tell you this. I Wish You Roses. She said at some point, I wish you roses as soft and silky as my sheets. And Worth the Wait, she said, the mirror is on my ceiling so I can watch you top me. I know what time it is listening to her, so I will be revisiting this. And I got to All Mine, and I can tell you right now, All Mine is the one.
I think I heard that.
I told Britt, I sent this one to Britt immediately. I was like, just go back and listen to this, please. So this one dropped off of Geffen Records. So shout out to
Geffen. Yep.
Shout out to Kali Uchis, man. I thoroughly enjoy her voice. Like I said, that one just came out this past weekend, so I basically got one spin off of that. But those two records, those lyrics were enough to be like, oh, I know what you're on. I'm coming back and spin the block on this one for sure.
You just spin the block on it. Shit,
next up, Puff. He got another one. Jazzy.
Another one.
Songs for Women, Free Game for Niggas. This is the debut project from Love Records. So he has introduced us to his new label's flagship artist. He is describing her as the R&B Biggie. If you are not familiar with her, you actually are familiar. If you're not familiar with her, you actually are familiar with her because of her songwriting credits. She has co-written Lil Nas X's Old Town Road remix, Internet Money, Gunna and Don Toliver's Lemonade, 21 Savage, Metro Boomin, and Drake's Mr. Right Now, and Beyonce's Virgo's Groove.
She co-wrote that? Wow.
She's written all of those.
Okay.
I know you wanted to give a side eye to R&B Biggie, but now that I have said those, you got to put some respect on her name.
Yeah. R&B Biggie, I was like, really, Puff? But no, because the album, or is it an EP or an album?
EP.
Yeah, it's an album. Yeah, it's an EP. It was like 10. I'm looking right now.
About 10 or 12 tracks.
That's not an EP.
Well, two of them are interludes.
Okay, yeah, that's an EP. But yeah, from what I heard, I really fuck with Replay. That's my shit. And Alone is fire, and Don't Say No. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I really thought this was a nigga. Like I really thought this was a nigga until you told me it's a she, and I'm like, oh, and that just puts it on a whole other level. I'm like, okay, yeah, this was a really good project right here. I enjoyed it.
Alone is one of those really good records because it really brings it back to Puff's blend of R&B hip hop back late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Just that sound that he was able to just really capitalize and create a signature sound with. That one was produced by Go Grizzly and Bongo, by the way. Another thing that I appreciate is just Puff's ability to bring back the names that he solidified his sound with. So Mario Winans has production credits throughout here, and one name that has become a name more so for reality TV, more than his name for those hits. Stevie J is all over this EP, like all over this damn EP. He even has a feature credit on here.
Feature on the last song, yeah.
And the funny thing was, I forget the title of what was it? The second to last. There was an interlude, and as I'm listening to the chord progression in the notes, I knew exactly what if I'm playing a playlist, I'm going to put this specific Jodeci record on the playlist right after if I'm making a playlist. And as soon as I said that Jodeci sample came right after, and I was like, I know my shit. I know exactly what I'd be listening to. This, as far as I'm concerned, this was a great introduction into the artist, Jazzy as an artist, because again, people are familiar with her work. It's just more so as a songwriter.
So she's more behind the scenes.
Right. And word is that Puff's R&B album, it's on the way. And from what's going on and what the word is in the industry, there's that shit on there. And her hand is all over that project. So if this was the introduction to her, then this was the reason why they pushed that first.
To get people acquainted with her.
Exactly. Yeah, so salute to Jazzy. That was a hell of a way to break in with the face. I'll give them that. Another one, Key Glock, Glaucoma 2, off of Paper Route and Empire. I was impressed with this. Had no features on here. I've actually been intrigued. I've been really trying to keep up with Key Glock, especially just want to see how everything is going with the guy since the unfortunate murder of young Dolph. And I liked what I heard. He got a track on here, Randy Orton. Kind of gives vibes. I don't know if you caught it, but those kind of like those West Side Gun vibes with the samples. Had another one on here called Chromosomes that kind of gave that trap sound vibe. And then he had another one I heard from Nothing. It had this weird melodic Western sounding sample. But that shit knocked in the car. And
nice.
Like I said, I breezed through it just enough, but it was enough to be like I fuck with Key Glock, man. Key Glock, that's my guy. So salute to Key Glock.
I enjoy his features.
Yeah. Key Glock was also on Young Nudie, Gumbo, released off RCA.
Yeah, I heard about that album. I
Bro,
heard good things about it.
Gumbo might have one of the hardest album covers I've seen this decade, in all of music. So it's the way it's set up is it's basically a table full of food at a Chinese cuisine.
Yeah.
And it's a snake that's like wrapped up looking at you. And all throughout, there's like a pistol, there's food all over, and then but how it's set up, like the graphic designer did an amazing job. And the track list, each song is named after food. There's two there's two features on there only. So this is another project where it's heavily the lead artist is heavily taking charge. There's only two features: Key Glock and 21 Savage on separate songs. This is, I would say, this is a nostalgic ass type of record where you think heavily trap sounds from 2006, 2007. Like it takes you back to that era. 11 of these 13 tracks were produced by Coop.
Okay.
Pierre produces one track, and then I forget the other producer that does another. But some highlights on here were Pancake, Fish and Chips, and Shrimp. I would definitely say that this is definitely going to be a highlight project throughout the year. My one critique, though, is that it definitely starts to feel like a run-on sentence towards the center.
How many tracks is there?
It's only 13. So it's not. That's one thing I did enjoy about these records. Like, there's no long ass. I really didn't hear any long ass records these last 2 weeks. So even though this one does sound like it like runs on too long, there are moments where it does give a break. But there was the closing record, Passion Fruit. If there were just a couple Passion Fruit records kind of spread out throughout the album, this one I would actually be like, okay, this is probably going to be one of those ones that like competes for Rap Album of the Year. But this this was genuinely like a strong ass effort.
Record.
I mean, trap wise, this is going to be one of those records that competes for. If you do like sub-genres in hip-hop, this is going to be one of those trap record of the year contenders. Young Nudie did a damn phenomenal job with this album. I'm giving him and Key Glock both the flowers. These two projects are amazing. I like both of them. Yeah, I'm definitely telling you, at some point throughout this week, go listen to this album. This shit was amazing. Yeah, this shit was great. And then finally, the final project I got to listen to, I was so happy when I saw that this popped up. Masego.
Oh yeah, I've been meaning to listen to that.
Masego, self-titled.
I'm sure.
Oh my god, it was so smooth. What you want to try? It sampled Craig David. What's your flavor?
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then
Bye Bye. I've heard that name in forever.
Yeah, Bye Bye My Love. At one point, he was doing his singing thing, and then after I think a minute in, he just let the saxophone just run, and I was like, you know what? Just if you want to do this for 5 more minutes, I'm cool. Just let it go. I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine with it, Masego. It's cool. So yeah,
what's up?
Shout out to everybody, man. And then there was one more artist. I'm gonna give him his flowers and his applause. Logic dropped another album that I continue to not listen to. I don't know what that was called, but yeah.
Next, so Creed 3 dropped. The Creed 3 soundtrack dropped, and yeah, just gonna talk about that first because it was curated by Dreamville, J. Cole and the Dreamville gang and shit, and it was an enjoyable listen. You had features from, Reason, Simba's on here. He was on the opening track, Culture. Like, nice. Reason and Simba, they ripped that shit. J. Cole fucking redid the Watcher beat and for the Adonis' interlude, and it was produced by Dr. Dre. So It was like a minute, but
wow,
Cole ripped it. Yeah, I know. Ari Lennox is on here. Blast is on here. Face it. Boogie or Westside Boogie, he's on there. He's on here. Of course, you got the whole Dreamville people. Moray's on here. Tyler Wack, Kalani is on here, and all in all, it was a good soundtrack. It was an enjoyable listen. All of them came at their A game, and there's some smooth records, and there's some fire, and there's a lot of fire records. It's really good.
Can you remember an artist? I'm bringing this up because we might have just stumbled upon a quick little subtopic. Can you remember an artist like Reason where they're signed to one label, but they're so damn affiliated with another label where you get confused because you're like, wait, shit, they're not with that label?
I want to say Travis Scott with good music.
I'm gonna say Exhibit.
Yeah, he was all over Aftermath, all over them Aftermath projects, and he was not signed to them niggas.
Yeah.
Where was he? What label was he on?
Loud.
Yeah, he was on Loud, but the way he was running, you would think he was an Aftermath person.
Right.
Dre was all over the production. He had features from M. He had features from Dre, Snoop, Nate Dogg, all them niggas. Man, good times.
I'm trying to see. Trying to think who else. We actually might have stumbled upon something. So yeah, Travis Scott, we would think is good, but Travis Scott is actually. I have to keep reminding people. Travis Scott is actually Grand Hustle.
Travis Scott, Exhibit. I want to say someone within. Who else? Because I see their face, but they always just there's another artist that always just popped up on another person. I know 2 Chainz probably. No, not 2 Chainz. Oh fuck!
You know, it's funny. We could lump him in with this, but it's basically just because they ended up forming their own duo. You could always lump Redman with Wu-Tang.
Yeah, even though he has nothing to do with Wu-Tang.
But it kind of is like. It's kind of just based off affiliation. Technically, even though he wasn't running with Wu-Tang as the whole, it's just because of Method Man.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. I feel like there's some more, though. Like, there's got to be... I think
like a lot of artists
right now. Yeah. I always see Reason, artists. And I'm like... I look at him like...
Project.
Yeah, he's always there with Dreamville, and it's like, wait, you're not Dreamville.
You're TDE, and he just pops up. He just pops up at the studio, like, "Hey guys," and you're like, "Okay," because Top ain't doing nothing with me. Punch ain't doing nothing with me, so I might as well jump on this. I wouldn't be surprised if him and JID drop a fucking collab album,
right?
JID Reason album,
right? And I say that because I don't say that in any disrespectful way. I think it's also a testament, and it's also one of the cool things too, because it shows how some camps really are that tight knit and that close, where you can you list some of them. I guess in some form or fashion, like allies are kind of like cousins. Some camps are like family camps, like cousins. So they just it's like that one cousin that never goes home.
Yeah, pretty much.
So he just always there. Or you think of it like Hakeem and Moesha. Like, if he eats at home, it's just the most random shit ever, because it's like, why aren't you at Maurice's house eating? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, or like Roger or Urkel that shows up. He just,
exactly.
just shows up at the damn studio. Like, go home, Reason.
Like, But I'm guessing you went to the movies. I tried to go to see. We had the date night planned. We were gonna go see Creed 3, and then my unborn child, he or she pulled on something and told Britt
no,
and
we like, no.
there was a no.
That baby said Michael B. Jordan's corny. No, you ain't seen that corny shit. Stay your ass at home.
Yeah, they were not feeling it. They said, I want to be inside, and we just had once upon a time used to be a Blockbuster night, and then we made it a streaming night.
Yeah, that's what it is now. It's not the Blockbuster night, it's a streaming night. That was me on Friday. Yo, before we get into this, I watched the House Party remake.
I was putting it off as long as possible. I don't mind you spoiling it because it's been spoiled to me many, many times. Is it as bad as how it was described to me?
I won't say it was bad. It's one of those like, yeah, this should have stayed on HBO Max.
Okay,
all
right.
That's the bad. Like, it's enjoyable. Like if you just at home, because I was about to go out on Friday and I was getting ready and I just put it on and I just kept watching and I was just like, you know what? Let me just finish this shit. And for an HBO Max show, a movie, it's cool. Like it's not bad. It's not good. It's not worse than the other bad House Party remakes or sequels or whatever. It's like kind of right in the middle.
See, I don't mind big budget films that come out on the streams as long as they stay on the streams. Don't make a big budget joint and then try to play me to go see it in the movie theaters and then it was supposed
to be on HBO Max.
Right.
And then Warner Brothers pulled that dumb shit. And people that said it, when they went to go see it, they go, "Yeah, this would have been better on HBO Max," and it should have stayed on HBO Max.
Right.
So, yeah, it was It was entertaining. Would I watch it again? No, but there's a lot of cameos, random cameos, and it's just like, why would you fucking throw a party at LeBron James' house? I mean, it's a good concept, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyway, Creed 3, it's cool. It was. Okay. If I can rank them all, I put the first one, then the second one, then the third one, and it's not like the third one is bad. It was enjoyable. But it's like the Godfather 3. How about that? Like how you look at Godfather 3 and shit like that.
Does Michael B. Jordan deserve to direct another film?
Yeah, he did a good job.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. That's all I was concerned about.
However, there was one part in particular, because he said that he took inspirations from anime for the fighting, for the boxing matches and shit. And then there's one part in the final battle. I'm not gonna get into it because you have to see it. But he goes full blown anime. When you see it, you'll know what I mean.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, when you see it, it was one of those that took me out. Like, okay, I know what you're doing, but no. that's no. Yeah, it was like, huh? But
no, he dove too deep into it. He said,
"I'm blickety blacker than black. I'm blacker than black. Yo, because I'm black and I'm back."
He's something like that. But Jonathan Majors, round of applause for him. He did a great job in it.
All right. Yeah, no. See, here's the thing, because we've been gone for a little while. Let him have the applause. We've just been gone for too long, and I'm actually glad we were gone a little bit longer, an extra week, because I saw that we saw the topic of his clothing. I didn't really care to talk about that because I don't care about the man's clothing. Because if I saw Jonathan Majors, or if I saw him on the street, I wouldn't question his clothing. So it's not something I care about. So to hear the reviews and read the reviews and see that he was him in the movie lets me know that he damn sure picked that clothing wardrobe out and it negates all the hoopla that was going on. My thing is that why can't masculinity be whatever the fuck you want it to be?
This is why, in the words of Dave Chappelle, Twitter is not a real place. And that's not. That I'm seeing all this discourse about what he was wearing and how he's posing and shit. I'm like, who gives a fuck? You can still fuck your bitch if he wants. Who cares? You know how many women have been like thirsting for this man on Twitter? Like, I've been seeing them thirst for Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors. They've been thirsting tough for these men. And I was like, oh, yeah, I don't care. That's the thing. I don't care what he wears. I don't care how he acts. He's a good actor. He's been in 2 movies that went number 1 and grossed over billions, like $500 million. And he was like the main villain. Yeah.
Black man did that. Yeah, no, it just wasn't a topic that I was like. I mean, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a reason why we can't. Why I don't want to say we canceled an episode or we canceled a week. That was definitely not what we did. But if we had to come in and do the episode, during that week, I just want people to understand. I'm just glad music came out.
Pretty much. There was that topic. It was just like, what's going on? And I saw the topics and the whole shit about Michael B. Jordan and the corny shit. Yeah, that became a big topic.
Yeah,
y'all saw the shit, like, former school bully. She's not a school bully, but he just remembers what you told him in high school and called him corny because he wanted to act. And now here you are interviewing me at my premiere of a movie that I'm directing that's going to make millions of dollars, and I'm still the corny one. Yeah, okay.
And then my thing of it is too is, see, I didn't pay enough attention to it, but I saw conflicting reports that the woman that I don't even remember her name, the woman that interviewed him, there was a conflicting report that it wasn't even her that was calling him that. There was another woman that actually did it, and she was the one that doubled down on the internet saying, "Yeah, I was the one that did it, and he's still corny." So I didn't even know, like, okay, was like the point. The point of it was that the blame started going towards Michael B. Jordan as if like, oh well, you're not that no more, so let it go. And it's like, well, you don't get to tell nobody who faced that trauma, like. You don't get to tell them how to react anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like
how to react, and fucking Joe Budden going in on him and shit like that. I was just like, come on, nigga.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I think there's definitely an opportunity to. You just got to remind yourself you always should be treating people how you would want to be treated, not based off the fact of what they would become one day. But just they're based off the fact that this is a living, breathing human being with feelings. And I always operate off the simple fact that you just never know what people are going through. And
exactly.
I sometimes I take it to the extreme. In addition to that, you just never know if you're the last line of defense between somebody legitimately going through, the unthinkable.
Yeah.
You generally don't know if you're the final person that is what takes the person
the last person they
ultimately
talk
to contemplate, yes, and go over the deep end. So I go that extra mile to treat people and say please, thank you, and ask them how their day is going.
Yeah, it's just funny because that just reminds me of a story I read about Winona Ryder and shit. She said one time she in I think elementary school or high school. No, it was elementary school. She got beat up. She was bullied a lot and shit like that, and she always remembered that. So then one day she was walking on the street or whatever, and she saw one of those bullies in elementary school come up to her and ask her for an autograph. And she looked at her and she was like, "Are you so and so from this elementary school?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "You remember bullying me and beating me up around that time period?" It's like, vaguely. Yeah, okay, because I remember. Go fuck yourself. And she just walked away. Like, the fuck?
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
People don't forget.
You know who don't forget is Chris Rock. He didn't forget.
Yeah.
Wow. For the people watching this, it was like an ongoing joke on this shit, man. But anyway, this past weekend, Netflix had their special first ever live event for Selective Outrage with Chris Rock, where he just did his stand-up. His first ever live stand-up in Netflix history. And I enjoyed it. It was typical Chris Rock. Like the first hour before the last 10 minutes, I enjoyed it for what it is. It's Chris Rock. He's in his 50s. He's rich. He has kids. He's single, I guess. He talked about how much of a hoe he is, which was funny. And leading up to it, I chuckled. I'm like, it's Chris Rock. So,
Yeah, I'm familiar with Chris Rock, but to me, this was mid for my standards of what I've become accustomed to with Chris Rock. I did laugh for I want to say the first 20 minutes. I thought it was. I thought how I want to see what your response was. You know what I'm talking about. Especially what he brought up. Especially what he was wearing around the neck.
I know.
What he was wearing around the neck. What he brought up. What was your response?
I saw it. When I heard it, because at first I was at work and I heard it, and I was like, well, he's always been making fun of Michael, so I ain't going to be mad about that. But then when I went home and kind of rewatched it, and I saw the Prince necklace, I was like, okay, I'm going to let this go. You get a pass. I get it.
Somebody did this.
Yeah, no. I thought he did some. One bit that I appreciated was when he was talking about the attention and how people have traded in their need for love just for likes, and then he broke down the 4 ways to get attention, which is basically show ass, be infamous, be excellent, and then be a victim. I thought that was a great breakdown. So there were parts where he did show, why he's Chris Rock.
And then the running gag when he made fun of Snoop Dogg, and then he was all going like, just so we clear, I don't want another mad rapper coming after me.
Exactly. So so he was hinting at it. He did it. He also did it with Jay-Z. I want another mad rapper, rapper mad at me. So like he would throw little hints. I thought it was good how he brought up the Kardashians. Like there were things that he did good, but overall it was just kind of like he would like lead up and then he would like It was a strong
It
come
was
down.
better than Tambourine. The last Netflix special he had. I didn't like Tambourine. Was kind of, you could tell he was going through it. With his breakup and shit like that. You didn't
See,
like. You,
that's the
you
thing.
thought it was,
That's the thing, though. With Tambourine, I just took it as he was just talking. He was being honest. Like, I could live with that. This one, it was like, nigga, you had a year. You had a year.
I won't say it was bad. People were saying it just wasn't. Some folks were saying the jokes weren't hitting. It wasn't funny. And in my mind, I'm thinking that's a sold out fucking venue he's in right now, and everyone's laughing their fucking ass off. So it's funny to somebody like me.
I'm not gonna say it was. I'm not gonna say it wasn't funny because people were laughing. I'm just gonna say my standards.
Yeah.
Again, people can say what they want, how they feel about Chris Rock and all that. Chris Rock is definitely a top comedian to me, so I am coming across as somebody that wanted to laugh, wanted to be entertained. I didn't go to that Netflix special wanting to hate on Chris Rock. I thoroughly went in there, and when I say not wanting to hate on Chris Rock, I wanted to be entertained, not because of what I was expecting for Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. I went there wanting to hear some good Chris Rock. I left there thinking, okay, it was just some mid, but he
held back. You could tell he did not want to go into that situation.
He held back, but one thing he ain't hold back was that bitch. He ain't hold back that bitch clip. That bitch came out. More times than the different types of storylines they chose to remake in Bel Air.
Yeah, he kept saying, Breakfast Club was calling him a bitch. Then Drink Champs was calling him a bitch. Everybody calling him a bitch. Everybody calling him a bitch. But who does he hit? Me.
And I've been waiting.
And I will say this, in his defense, again, Twitter not being a real place, they made it sound like he came out there and the first thing he said was they was calling him bitch and Will Smith a bitch. I was like, fam, I have it right here. By the time it got to the smack, it was 1 hour, 1 minute, 10 seconds. That is the timestamp by the time he got to the Smiths.
And it was only 10 minutes. It was a 10-minute segment. Yes, it was a 10-minute.
That whole special, if I'm not mistaken, was 1 hour and 9 minutes.
And he knew, he knew people were only going to take that last part. It was going to be that last part, because he knew that's what everyone was going to go for. The way people are talking about this whole stand up was that he talked for the entire hour about Will and Jada, and the bibbity black folks on there going like, "Oh, this is not funny. This is not this. This is not that." I'm like, "Who the fuck are you niggas? Like, what? Shut up!" It's like, are we doing this Dave Chappelle?
Oh, yeah. There's powerful niggardry at work here.
Are we doing this Dave Chappelle shit again? Saying, "Oh, Chris Rock is not funny. Dave Chappelle's not funny. They're not aging gracefully." What? Dude.
The thing was,
niggas.
See, and the thing that was too, I saw it on both ends too, because again, I like to play. It's not even necessarily I like to play the middle, because sometimes you do have to take a side. And again, even when we saw the smack, we called it how it was. We had laughed, and it was like, for us, it was hilarious. But we said Will Smith was wrong. We said he was wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. But I also went on Twitter during my workout this morning, and I saw somebody go on there and make this bogus ass claim that was basically saying, and Jada Pinkett Smith is going to be on this high horse. Let's face facts. If it wasn't for the fact, let's call it how it was. Tupac never wanted you, and if it wasn't for Will Smith, your career will be in the gutter. And I'm like, what?
She was what?
I was like, if anything, her marrying Will, actually, she took a back seat to her career for marrying Will. Like, what do you? Every day y'all get on this damn app and y'all try to rewrite history. I swear.
Niggas try to go on there and say nobody and everybody loves Chris wasn't funny. What?
Okay.
And then niggas kept saying it just wasn't funny. It wasn't funny to you. Like, that's what it is. To you, it wasn't funny. And he's like, oh, he's breaking down black women. He's tearing down black women in front of white people. You know he did this shit in Baltimore? I saw a whole bunch of niggas in there. Like, what? Oh my God, man. Selective outrage. That was the whole point. Somebody said, I think Peter Rosenberg said some shit. He was all going like, yeah, it was cool at first, but then the last 10 minutes was just distasteful, and it was just mean and cruel, and And I'm like, what? He's not supposed to say nothing? He's the one that got slapped. Like, what? He's the one that got slapped on national television. Yeah,
I'm noticing. I'm
on the
noticing.
pre-show.
I'm noticing a pattern here. When
What?
it's Michael B. Jordan, Chris Rock, it's you can take the bullying and you can but once you hit a level of success, unlike the rest of us who had to internalize it and just had to take it, but once now that you're successful, you just can't speak it out because you're successful now. So
yeah,
just deal with it. But
just deal with that shit. And
no.
then when you attack. And then people are thinking like, oh, you should have came with better jokes than that. You can tell he held back the entire time because he did not want to go in like that. And then people are trying to make this whole fucking thing that, oh, Chris Rock couldn't get at Jada Pinkett Smith, so this is why he's dissing her. This is all calculated by him. I'm like, what? It's Chris Rock.
Now, here's the thing. I thought that those 10 minutes, I thought they were funny, not because he had the vitriol to go at them, but because that was creative. How he was saying it and what he was saying, that was creative. It was more so about he still put himself in that. It was, of course, I felt the smack. Do you see Will Smith? He's bigger than me. Will Smith goes into these roles with his shirt off. When I go into a role and they have to do open heart surgery on me, I have a sweater on still.
Like people saying the jokes weren't hitting. It's funny because Twitter has to be the final call. Like Black Twitter has to be the final call of what's funny and what isn't. It's like it was called Selective Outrage for a reason. Sticks and, like Dave Chappelle, Sticks and Stones, Chris Rock, Selective Outrage. It's like you guys. Oh my god, man! It's just Black Twitter. Period, dog. Like people are just idiots. Bitch ass niggas, man.
I can't wait to see what the outrage is going to be when that Donald Glover movie premieres on Amazon.
It's a series, but
the series,
yeah. The Beehive is getting. Oh man, they got triggered just by looking at the trailer.
I can't wait to. I can't wait to see, especially because Chloe's in that one. So
who else is? You know who else is in it? Paris Jackson. Michael's daughter. Yeah, and that's also the show that Obama's daughter co-wrote too. Barack Obama. What's her name?
Malia.
Starts with an M. Malia. Yeah, she co-wrote one of the episodes.
Salute everybody involved with that.
Nah, the show is called The Swarm. That's what it's called. I saw the trailer for that, and I was just like, "Oh, this is funny." And the Beehive, they saw that shit. They're going like, "Is this about us?" And they're going, "This is fucking. Oh man, this is so tactful and this is just cheap." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "Oh, y'all got triggered. That's what happened." This is just the trailer. Oh yeah. Snowfall now.
Well, before we get there, you finally caught up on something. I've been waiting for you to catch up on.
Oh yes.
Because let me tell you something. I can wait on Snowfall. I got some words for Snowfall. All right.
Uh-oh.
So I actually want to be enjoyed. I actually want to be enjoyed. Well, pause. I actually want to have some enjoyment and have you share your experiences with the Sopranos.
I can't get the show out my head now, bro. Like the fact that I waited so long just to watch this series is like criminal, but I'm glad it was on HBO Max and I should have just watched it from the beginning, but I'm glad I watched it at this moment. So, because it's timeless television. Like that whole series is timeless television. The only thing that's fucking like dated all the cell phones, but that's neither here or there. But that was great television. Like everything. And then after I saw the ending, what led up to the ending, I started going down the rabbit hole on every theory on the fucking ending. I watched interviews, I watched podcasts, I looked at every single angle of that ending, and just Tony Soprano, man, James Gandolfini, that was the definitive role for him. Like, that's the one character. That's the character that paved the way for Walter White, for Ghost, for all the anti-heroes that we see on television. Tony Soprano paved the way for them. And he's the one character I cannot figure out still. I mean, I kind of can, but
it's the reason why it's legitimately, this isn't hyperbole. It is now the reason why main characters are now killers in series now. That was the first time a main character killed somebody in a premium series. Like you can document that. That is the very first time your main character actually killed somebody in a series. So that was TV history. For years, I've been trying to just get you to watch that way, so I could just get you in on some of the inside jokes. And I just kept telling you, I was like,
jokes.
Damn, this is. It's serious, but at the same time, there's always
this shit was a comedy. This shit was a fucking dramedy. That's what this shit was.
There's 3 segments every single episode where you shouldn't laugh, but you're just gonna laugh. And Paulie Walnuts and damn near every single time Paulie Walnuts is involved.
Oh, you fucking queers! Or the funniest one to you and me, when he was sitting at the table with Janice and he was trying to piss her off, talking about her kid's name. Isn't that French for something? He keeps eating while breathing on. What did he say?
Sacre with my mommy.
Sacre bleu with mamie moi.
And then got off and walked off like prime Vince McMahon, goddamn attitude era.
He just walked out like with a smug on his face, and then the credits rolled. Like what? But nah, man. If I could rank the seasons from like enjoyment, I'll say season 4.
I told you.
I
told you. I said season 2 was probably the best one written. But I said season 4 was probably my favorite out of all of them, just because there's just so much shit that goes on in season 4.
Man, White Caps, that episode where him and Carm were arguing, was like the best television I've watched in a minute. Yeah. But yeah, season 4, season 3, season 6A, I guess you can say, which I hate calling it that. I think that's my top 3. Everything else is a get scrambled, but it's such a great fucking show, man. Like, and I'm still like deep diving in it. Like, someone told me on Twitter, they're like, I guarantee you're gonna want to rewatch the series after you're done watching it. And I damn near want to rewatch the series again.
I watch it twice a year. I watch it twice a year.
Yeah, it really is. The Holy Trinity is The Wire, Breaking Bad, and The Sopranos in no particular order. That's the Holy Trinity of crime, drama, television shows.
There's an order. There's an order.
To me, I love them all equally. To me, I love all 3 of these.
It's because you just watched The Sopranos. That's why.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
I always felt Breaking Bad had the superior ending, but now looking at The Sopranos, like what led up to that ending, I really feel that's the definitive ending to me. The don't stop.
That's why it's because now it's you just watched The Sopranos and it's like you don't want to let go of what you thought of with Breaking Bad, but you on your rewatches. The thing is with The Sopranos is also the easiest to rewatch because it's not because it's simple, but because it is so funny.
Yeah,
and it is a comedy drama where out of those 3 you can legitimately just put it on. And let it play. It has the most replay value. You still are going to pick up so many things along the way. So you still have that. Whereas The Wire, you need to watch because that's the difference. The Wire, it's all based on body language. So because of that, you can't just put it on. You have to watch.
Yeah.
And whereas Sopranos, it's God, it's so fucking funny. But the thing of it is too is that those dream sequences they allow David Chase to do so much and combine it allowed him to do so much in their real world. And how do I say this?
It felt like how dreams actually are. That's how it felt like.
Yeah, and it allowed him to do so much in the real world to the part where you actually kind of wanted the dream sequences to actually kind of dive into the real world at times. Where if there were some moments where it seemed surreal, you actually wouldn't have minded because it's like, well, wait, I actually kind of I wanted it to look a little bit like how
Atlanta. It kind of feels how Atlanta is in a way.
Yeah, the surrealism
a little bit. Yeah, surrealism. Like the part where when Paulie saw Virgin Mary at the bada bing and shit like that. And it was just like, what the fuck? And it just goes away. And it was like, it goes into supernatural shit here and there. And that's, oh man, it's just so fucking good, man. Like that. And it's crazy to think that shit was made in 99. The first season was made in 99 to 2006. Yeah. And it still holds up. Like, it's wild how much it holds up. Like, I was watching it. Like, it got to the point where I was just literally just conceived to it. Like, I made a playlist out of it. Like, this show's fucking amazing. The show was amazing, dog. Mm-hmm. Now, the ending is always up to interpretation, but in more ways than one. That's why I like that ending, because David Chase said the clues are in it. I don't have to tell you what happened.
It's not up for interpretation. He finally admitted it, but even then, it's not up for interpretation.
He didn't even admit it. It's just, he got shot.
He did.
Got shot. He did. You know, there's ain't more to it. That's all you need to hear. Like, you know, in the end of Biggie's shit, what? There ain't no more to it. Yeah. Shit. Oh man, love that damn show, man. I just, God, man, and like you said, as soon as you're done watching it, nothing else compares to it. It's like, I just want to watch GOAT shows now. So imagine my disappointment when I turned on fucking Snowfall.
All right.
Shit.
Somebody did this.
This close. The show was this close from being one of the GOATs. It was this close.
All right, we can now officially do BD and AD, before death and after death. Rest in peace, John Singleton. We officially we now know where we can pinpoint this: before death and after death.
He only did how many seasons? He did two seasons, right?
2 or 3?
Yeah,
it was 3 max. I know 2 for sure, 3 max.
Yeah, he wrote I think he probably wrote the treatment for the 3rd season.
Yeah. But, boy, oh boy, oh boy. My God Almighty.
I told you after season 4, I was kind of just like, yeah, I'm starting to see like it's starting to teeter a bit, and you're just like, no, just let it play out. And I'm like, yeah, true. And then by the last few episodes, I was like, okay. And then season 5, that's when I really just started just like
that goddamn tiger.
Yeah, I only watched the first 2 episodes, but you said what? Something happened in episode 3 that made you just be like, "Nah, I'm cool."
Yeah, I'm gonna spoil it for everybody because at this point, if you still have faith in Snowfall, fuck it, I'm ruining it for you because I don't have faith in it anymore. All right, so they built up Cain, right? You built up Cain. Cain was the reason where it divided. It was divide and conquer for the entire Saint family or crime organization, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so much so that we were supposed to forget that you put a fucking felt marker and wrote Cain on this nigga eyebrow, right? We were supposed to forget that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Supposed to be a big showdown with Cain. They not only did you kill this motherfucker off screen, but you threw his body into a montage.
A montage.
Cain's dead in episode 3.
And Cain showed up last season, right?
Yes. And it was a big deal.
That's the dude that showed up at the basketball court in the park and shit?
Yes, on the baseball field.
And they killed him in a montage?
Yes. When Leon gets back and Lil Homie with the afro, he's explaining to him what's going on. And it's basically a Wild Wild West where Franklin and Uncle Jerome, they're basically sending shots back and forth.
Yeah.
Cain and his lieutenant get shot up in a car wash. You don't even see him get shot. You just see the body in the car wash.
The fuck?
I was like, I'm done with this shit.
Off.
Meanwhile, Teddy, his segments are up to 10 minutes long.
The white boy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was getting annoying to me. Like, why do they keep focusing on this white boy? And he really
I don't know what they're talking about with him. I legitimately don't know what's going on with him. I don't care anymore. They got Leon looking like Nelson Famdella. He's trying to bring the family back together.
Family.
Okay, so him and Wanda, they get married when they're out in I forget which country they're in Africa. They get married, And the reason, I don't want to say the reason they get married, because he does love her. They love each other. But the whole point is she's like, let's stay here. There's nothing for us back in America. And he's like, but I got to go save our people. We got to save the people. And he's like, but I don't want to go back there without you. And she's like, well, I'm not going back. And he goes, but I need you. So they get married. And that's his way of basically saying, I'm not going back to America without you. So now you have to come back with me because now we're married.
That's fucking stupid.
What kind of shit is that?
So they go back.
Uh-huh.
And he realizes they're at war.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they give him all the montage shit of what's going on. And everything that we could have had episodes of like worth seeing of this war, they throw it into less than a 3-minute montage. We won't even get 5 minutes worth of, or we won't even get up to a commercial break worth. They throw this shit in less than 3 minutes.
That's, I guess.
I'm over this fucking show. Just end this shit. I'm at a point now where I'm like, yo, just let the next episodes 4 to 9 just come. I'll binge it, and then I'll dance on its grave on the series finale night.
Yeah, that's how I felt the last.
I hope this at this point, this is just great actors working with shitty ass scripts. I hope every single character dies a horrible death. Shout out to the actors. The actors are doing phenomenal. They're working with what they can work with, but I hope these characters die horrible deaths and everybody goes.
That show, Snowfall, was this close. I remember people saying it was going to be up there with Breaking Bad. I remember it was this close. No. And when John Singleton died, that's when the quality dropped.
Yeah.
You could tell. You could tell when he had his fingerprints in and when he didn't have his fingerprints in. But it's what it is.
Awful. It's horrible.
Meanwhile, in the 50 Cent universe.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to your shaft?
There's powerful niggardry at work here.
Oh, man. You weren't lying. This shit's funny as fuck now.
It's a comedy.
Why are the cops fucking now? Why?
Man.
Why? Why are the cops fucking now? or fucking what's his name's wife? You motherfucker. I rewinded that part so many times at the skating rink. But she called him shit. He's like, you motherfucker. Sounded like Tommy. What is this show?
I don't know, but it's great. I tune in every week. I'm sorry, sorry, Abbott Elementary. You're no longer the number one comedy on TV. You're not.
It's funny. We have selective outrage. Because first we were all going in on fucking Snowfall, but we're just giving all the credit to BMF.
Because it gets entertaining.
Exactly. It's not boring. It's just like, and the thing is, we know they're gonna get alive and they're gonna come back alive out of this in the end. They're gonna go to jail. They're gonna come out and they have a TV show. Like. Oh man, this is
amazing. This is amazing television. I'm still mad that this nigga thought he was going to come out of that hotel or motel. Why did he bring a receipt and think he was going to be able to
keep it in his pocket? Like, why did he keep it in his pocket? Why didn't you throw that shit away? Get rid of the evidence, nigga. What's wrong with you?
I just thought it was funny when he was just standing there, and then all of a sudden Meech just came up and like crept in like out of the camera and just stood in next to him. That shit looked like the scene when Martin and Will were looking at the taxi drive away in the first Bad Boys. The camera was slowly
panning around. Shit just got real. That show, dog. Oh my god, shit's fucking hilarious.
And at the same time I'd be so confused because just at the end of the previous episode, Lala's character was like, "What you know about this? This is grown folk business. You can't take care of me. You still live at home. Just drop me off." And the very next episode is, "You balling now? You taking me shopping?" Like you're just like, wait, what?
And then she ends up fucking him. Lala's ass was just looking like that. Oh my god!
You found that attractive? You found that attractive?
No, I'm talking about the love scene that Lala did. You know, when you saw her ass and shit.
That's what I'm saying. But you found her ass attractive. Like I was like, when did it get that? Like that's just another thing. That's got to be confusing too. Like when you the banana boat crew and you a big fan of these shows, and you just see her pop up, and it's just like that's your man's ex-wife, and y'all just like it wasn't that big when y'all was together, and now it's just there.
Where the fuck this come from? Yeah,
right,
I'm not complaining. Because I'm an ass man. And titties. But
sometimes just too much ass. Especially when the ass wasn't there. That's the problem. It can never be too much ass when it's natural, but when the ass was never there and now it's there, that's when it's too much ass.
Yeah, I agree with that. I get you on that one.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, this show's it's funny. We got like a few more episodes left because then pretty soon we'll be back in the big Rich Town universe. Yes. And on Fridays too. Oh, that's great.
No, what's the oh yeah, we got one more week.
You got one more week, and then after that, that's when Book 2, Season 3 comes out. So,
oh man, they cremated Blackie.
Oh yeah. No, I saw the scene of Snoop Dogg taking the gun out in the church. I said, "Get out!" Gonna make me go back to the East Side.
He said that shit, and the first thing that came to my mind was East Siders.
Come out and play. Oh man. Anyway, what else?
We
Sports
got
now. Sports now.
Yeah, it was looking all up for the Lakers, and then just just like that, the ankle goes out, and I don't know. Lakers was on that 4 seed, and then I don't know. We're gonna see.
You just don't know. We'll see. Fuck it.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
When we were talking, it just got announced that Steph Curry is set to return. So Warriors have been kind of in the middle of the ground, but they've been winning the games they need to win. So that's cool, I guess. And what else? Well, let's get to it. John Morant, bring your ass to the stand.
Somebody did this.
Stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in the mind of John Morant. Yeah, that's different. It's very, very different. It's very disheartening. Very.
I don't know which part. I know what's the worst one, but it's just like what led to that moment was just like you beat up a 17-year-old over the summer, then you go threatening him allegedly. Then you allegedly go to a what was it? A foot line? Was it foot line? What's it called? Foot action.
Foot action.
You go to foot action and threaten a fucking employee
allegedly.
And then one of your friends takes a gun out with a laser pointer and points it at the opposing team, allegedly. While you're on the court, you make fun of it by doing this shit on the court, allegedly. Then, this ain't alleged, you go on your IG Live and you pick up a gun like this. Why did you do that? Why? Ass.
Well, I think we actually kind of concerned about the wrong things here real quick because he did it at the strip club with his shirt off, and my whole thing is, why was your shirt off and why was you exposing nipples instead of looking at the other kind of nipples? Like, who are you there to impress? You were supposed to be impressed, and you trying to be out there impressing. Like, we need to focus on that real quick. You trying to impress when you need to be impressed, and that's the problem.
He's
23 is old enough. 23 is old enough to know.
I know.
You know, I get it. He's young and he's impressionable. I understand that, but 23 is also old enough to know. Yeah, it could be disheartening. It's also one of those situations where it's also a good learning lesson. I appreciate Jalen Rose for what Jalen Rose said on ESPN, where he said there's people that come into our lives for 4 reasons. They either add, subtract, multiply, or divide. I thought that was great. He was on it. Well, a lot of people come in, they use their platform to come in and get jokes off, and I get it. There's times to come in and joke, but this is a situation where this young man is potentially in a situation where he could detrimentally cause harm to the entire situation. We're not just involving him, his family, but also the lives of others and their loved ones. You know what I mean? So it seems like it's a crossroads. So right now, it's not necessarily that much time to joke around.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it's at this point where they're being very, I guess, lenient with them. They understand that a 2-game suspension it's what I consider very lenient. All things considered, especially Nike. We know what the Kyrie situation.
If that was David Stern, he would have suspended him. If this was David Stern, he would have suspended him for probably 10 games.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
So
I respect the fact that Nike's standing with him. At the same time, I'm still giving Nike the side eye because I'm like, you dropped Kyrie for a link. And we're doing all these allegedly where these offenses are now causing bodily harm. And this was the young man that was supposed to replace Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? So you can't help but give them that side eye. Like, okay, are you doing your due diligence? Because this is now the second time where it seemed like you just were rushing to, I'm not dating now. John Morant was under contract already before they decided to cash in on him after Kyrie. So it's not like they just signed him and left him in. But at the same time, too, again, you just got to look at the grand scheme of things. So you just hope that John Morant takes real accountability for these situations and looks at it from the standpoint of, I got to get my shit together and really betters himself before something really goes wrong.
Seriously.
I've been looking at this situation, and really one song that keeps coming to my head is Tupac Shorty Want to Be a Thug. And it's like, fam.
Exactly.
This ain't it.
This ain't it. Like, why would you do that? Especially how he held the gun, too. I'm just like, well, peekaboo. Like, what? Why hold it like that? Why hold it like that, man?
So sometimes in the case of Michael B. Jordan and Chris Rock, sometimes being corny is okay. You might want to be might want to be a little corny.
I'd rather be corny than be a fucking thug. Like, the fuck?
Yeah. If you need to be corny to protect the 171 million, you might want to be a little bit corny.
Shit,
it's okay.
I will be Steve Urkel corny. Nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you know what I mean? Man, fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah. No. It's like when they saw on Twitter when a bunch of those cats on that thread were getting up in arms because the women from the streets who wasn't gonna catch their eyes anyways were saying that if you ain't a gang member, you can't do nothing for them, and everybody who wasn't from the streets was getting up in arms. And it's like, wait a minute, ain't that a good thing? Because that means that you ain't got to deal with the drama that comes along with that. It's like everybody ain't gonna be for you. These streets ain't supposed to be for you. These streets
don't love you, bro.
Exactly.
These streets do not love you. These streets will kill you. Why do you think 50 Cent said fuck the hood? When he left the hood, he never went back.
Exactly.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Niggas.
Nah, I definitely hope John Morant. Definitely hope he takes that situation for and learns from his mistakes and grows from the situation. Deion Sanders.
Somebody did this.
Yeah, see, there was a lot of backlash. And again, as I said, when Deion Sanders got that job with Colorado, I said, congratulations. I just, we all saw that situation for what it was. Deion Sanders, he admitted that he went to Jackson State and it was about him. He was utilizing that platform. He was going to take as many people with him along the way, but it wasn't necessarily about the HBCU as much as it was about Deion Sanders. His comments about his recruiting process basically made claim and showed the fact that it wasn't about Jackson State or HBCU. It's about Deion Sanders and the establishment. Very, very nasty comments.
What exactly did he say?
Now, it wasn't about race. So per se, and I'm not going to make it about race, but it also has to do with a certain level of class, if you will. Basically, what he said is when he's looking for his quarterback, he wants his quarterbacks to come from 2-parent household, 3.5 GPA. You know, he wants them going somewhere. You know, going places. He said when he's looking for them edge rushers, he said he wants 1-parent household. You know, scrapping for food. He don't know where his meals is coming from. You know, just get it out the mud type.
Niggas. Why did he say that? Why did he say that? Niggas.
Boo this man!
Yeah. You get mad at Chris Rock. Get mad at him.
Somebody said it best. Said, imagine thinking your mama doing good in life, and then Deion Sanders comes to your house trying to recruit you to come rush the quarterback. And see, that's the problem. And because again, it doesn't even have to equate to, you know, white, black, but at the same time too, class. Let's even just put it into class. That's still a problem. Still an issue. That you're dividing up groups of people like that and making them feel one way, that you're still lesser than, because you have to scrap it out. I think that mentally you're down here and you're going to work 3 times as hard because you don't have any, I think that you think you don't have any way out of your current situation other than going to go get a fucking concussion versus, hey, you got a 2-parent household and you do good in school. So I think that you have what it takes to go play quarterback. And we all know damn good and well that ain't got shit to do with shit. Not shit. Because you could have a single parent come from a single parent household and you could have, you know, we've seen that kids come from, you know, AP classes, honor rolls, like that has nothing to do with this. I thought that was very
nothing to do with how you is on the field, bro. Like the fuck.
I thought that he pushed a very, very ignorant ass stereotype. Again, a lot of people assumed it had to do with race, and you know, under the underlying statement, again, yes, it could be pushed that way. I took it as more so in terms of class. Either way, it was just a very ignorant ass statement. He got to do better than that.
Yeah, just be better tomorrow, Dion.
Yeah.
You're prime, man. Be better tomorrow.
Is Prime a bad person? No, he made a mistake. I hope he does better. You know, but he definitely got to be better at that because again, you're bringing kids into these are kids coming to you and they're staying with you in duration with these programs, man. Like, nah, got to be better than that.
Literally, bro. Anything else?
Well, I think that covers everything on mine. What you got?
Thoughts and prayers to JV and his family.
Yes.
Yeah, he has disappeared. They don't know where he is. There's a missing person report out, and just this past few days, his wife came out and pretty much said she got an update that he's not coming home. So I don't know what that entails. I just, man, it's a very sad situation, man. I grew up when I was a kid listening to the Doghouse on 94.9 before I went to school. Yeah. And he all funny, and I didn't know he was still DJing. I remember he disappeared off there for a minute. I know he disappeared off there. But yeah, he came back, and yeah, he still has a great following, man. So thoughts and prayers to his family, his friends and family.
That was one of my favorite things to hear in the morning. Doghouse, what?
Yeah. I remember one I remembered was that when he had freestyle battles on there, random freestyle battles. Mm-hmm. And I remember his interview with Jay-Z when Blueprint 2 came out. I remember that. Mm-hmm. I think Hov came to the studio, and it was like a really good 1 hour interview. It's very rare. Okay. I don't know if it's still out there, but I remember that interview. But,
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, definitely thoughts and prayers go out to him, his family, both his immediate family and the radio family. Going back to everybody that was involved with both 107.7 and then eventually when it transitioned into 94.9. Yeah, definitely. We don't know what's going on, and most importantly, we don't need to know what's going on. We just need to extend love and support to everybody.
Well, on that note, I got to go get ready because I'm about to head out to Chase Center to go to AEW. Is that right, Edgar?
Give me a hell yeah!
Yeah, so on that note, this is episode 291 of the most consistent podcast in the area. You can always hit us on Twitter. Shout out. You can follow me, Mr. Busby, 4 lowercase 08 on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram at Mr. Busby. You can follow us, the podcast, at iLLogical SP. You can follow us on Instagram at iLLogical Sense. And of course, on that Facebook. And as always, like, subscribe, comment. You know the deal. The YouTube. Ya bitch.
And on all social media, you can follow me at JCNoHunnits. I'll keep it short and simple. So as we get out of here, as Busby said, like, subscribe, hit on all social medias, all platforms. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music. God knows where else they have podcasts.
Everybody got a podcast now. Starting to notice that now.
Appreciate you guys. Annoying. Appreciate. Oh, I don't consent. If you got a podcast,
no, I just said annoying. I just said it. Don't mind me.
Yeah, no, but for everybody that keeps coming to us, appreciate it.
Exactly.
So again, thank you for all the listens, like, subscribe, comment, and all of that. And yeah, thank you.
On that note, we out.
Peace.
Peace.